come in and have a seat. We are already live because it's just it's like a TV show actually. We're just kind of ongoing. Yeah. So welcome.
It's like
Yes, it's like studio. So everybody, this is Rachel from Tradewind Voyages.
Hi everybody.
Thank you for joining us.
My pleasure.
Lovely to see you in person. For
I know, it's so nice rather than
so,
looking through a computer screen.
So refreshing. Yeah, really
It's lovely.
Nice.
And you've got a lot of customers here tonight.
Do you know what? We've got a fantastic turnout considering it's our first event, our first in-person event in the last.
And I think I've got 3 customers all ready to book. So yeah,
that's
ready to go.
So so I just kind of gave you a bit of a brief introduction before you even walked in, but
okay.
Obviously you're with Tradewind Voyages now, and I think it's a fantastic product. I was lucky enough to go on and actually have a look around the ship and have a lunch, which was really, really lovely. Yeah. But yeah, tell us a little bit more about the product, about
what it is, yes. So we're kind of the new kids on the block. So the business was only established a couple of years ago. So we started back in early 2020, so just before the pandemic kicked off. So we've had an interesting couple of years.
An interesting start to
life. So I came in to sort of build up our sort of distribution, if you like, and to work with you guys for a long time. So it's been great getting our partners on board. So we have the largest sailing ship in the world. So Golden Horizon, if anyone wants to Google her, she is the largest proper sailing ship. So she was built to sail. Our original plans when I started the business was to sail around the world. So it was to use the winds and the currents with the sails to take it all over the world. We have some wonderful itineraries around sort of the Arabian Sea, around the Indian Ocean, circumnavigation of Australia, Alaska, the South Pacific. Now those plans are just on hold. We do hope to get there, but realistically probably not for a couple of years until things start to calm down. So in the meantime, what we've decided to do is bring her to the Mediterranean. So she's going to have a season around the Mediterranean. So some really gorgeous voyages that will be going around Italy, around Croatia, around Greece, and then we're going to head across transatlantic. So we'll leave from Tenerife, actually from Santa Cruz at the end of October, and head across to Bridgetown in Barbados, where she's going to spend the summer. So she's going to have a series of voyages around in and out of Barbados. She'll have then some around Antigua, and that'll take us to the end of March. And then she's going to come back to the Med and have a season 2023 around the Med, and then back to the Caribbean for 2024, and so on. So yeah, I think probably 2 to 3 years, and then we'll look to take it further.
I think that's probably fair enough given the last 2 years. I think given the last 2 years, I think it's fair that maybe the world isn't quite ready for the whole time.
Absolutely. I mean, I can't tell you how many times we've planned and changed and cancelled, and it's been quite traumatic. But yeah, look, we are super excited to actually be starting for real later on this year.
So tell me a little bit about the ship then, because I know that Tricia has been lucky enough to actually go on an actual sailing trip, which is fantastic.
She has.
As I said, I've been lucky enough to get on board, go have a look around, and it's absolutely stunning. But I know, unfortunately, I didn't actually get to experience this, but you've got quite a unique kind of setting sail process with the whole sails coming down and the music that was composed especially for you. I think that's such a cool story.
It is. So the ship itself is, as I've said, the largest sailing ship in the world, and we do intend to sail her still as much as we can. So the first time the sails go up, and I have to say, we as a team, the first time we went on the ship and we took some travel agents out. So Tricia was on the ship when we sailed, and it was an evening. I think we just had dinner and we were out on deck, and we were so fortunate. Beautiful. It was the weather was still beautiful. The sea was calm, and the sails went up and the music played. We had these chaps that composed the music for us, and it was really emotional and it was wonderful. So and our guests will experience that whilst they're on board. So that will definitely be a highlight. A glass of champagne or a gin and tonic or whatever.
I think that's definitely a sight to behold. I think
it's just spectacular, spectacular. She's built to be in warm weather, and for guests to be outside and enjoying her to be out on deck.
Well, that's what I was just about to ask you actually. So, I was going to come on to sort of like the facilities on board, because as you said, you're the biggest sailing ship, but everyone kind of, all the cruise companies sort of put all this emphasis on bigger is better, and all the facilities and the climbing walls and everything else that you can do, which is great. It has its market. what about facilities on board?
For us, yeah. So for us, our voyages average around seven days, and in that time, you'll probably have maybe 1 or even 2 sea days, and the rest of the time will be at port. But whilst you're on board, we have some wonderful things that you can do on board. We have a wonderful library area that you can go and literally relax with a book or some games. We have a really well-equipped gym, so if you want to work off all the wonderful food you're going to be eating, then you can do that. We have a health and wellness instructor that looks after our guests for yoga, Pilates, out on the viewing deck. One of the real highlights, I think one of the best places on the ship is actually on Marina. So at the back of the ship, it literally falls down, and we have this hydraulic platform that comes out into the sea, and we deploy our water sports from there. So sailboarding, paddleboarding, snorkeling. We have a dive tank on board as well, so you can do a tri dive, scuba diving. You could scuba dive off the back.
You've got those really the expensive kind of
the sea bobs.
Sasses.
So we've got sea bobs, so you go out with a sea bob on the back. So it's quite surprising because you wouldn't expect to see it on our ship.
Not at all.
So all of these kind of things that you can do. And the beauty of us being so small is that we can get to places the big cruise ships can't. Yeah. So we can get into smaller docks, we can get to smaller beaches. You know, we can say one of the places, for example, we can get into Venice. The big cruise ships not allowed in Venice anymore, but yes, we can.
You're allowed.
We are allowed, absolutely. So yeah, we get to places that other ships just can't get to.
But even on the main deck, I mean, you've got a really lovely swimming pool there,
yeah.
Which actually I thought was quite interesting because we also were taken down into a bar and it's got like a clear floor.
Yeah.
But you've got a really lovely pool on deck, and you've got lots of space with some beds, and it's just a nice place to be.
It's the place to be. So we've got kind of a split level outside. So we've got the sort of the top deck where, yeah, it is a great place to be. We've got our dive pool, and then we've got a plunge pool, and in the middle we've got our swimming pool. And then on the sort of deck below is still outside. We have our horizon bar. So again, another great place to go and have a light bite. But the beautiful thing, so our dining room and the piano bar is in the central part of the ship. Absolutely breathtaking. And actually part of the swimming pool actually drops into the dining room. So it casts, when the light shines through the water, it just casts rainbows all over the dining room. It's just stunning.
Yeah, it is. Okay, so we've got a couple of minutes left. So I know we can talk all evening. Just out of interest, in terms of the kind of the guests, the type of guests that you would have on board, I guess your target market almost. Who would appreciate this kind of cruise?
Okay, so I would say, so one thing I will mention is we don't have, there's no elevators on board, so unfortunately we don't have facilities for guests that need wheelchairs or assistance walking. Our guests need to be able to get on and off the ship and up and down the decks. Yeah. So for us, it's guests that maybe didn't even think they wanted to do a cruise. Because we're so much smaller, so maximum guest size 270, 150 crew, it's a 1 to 7 guest staff ratio, and it is just very different from being on the big cruise ship. So I think probably people that want to see a number of destinations, want something to do while they're on board, they want good service, they want some good food, and just try something different. Certainly if you are a cruiser, I think this is a very different type of ship to come and see and try. But yeah, it's really about being outside and enjoying the weather. You can even get involved with the sailing of the ships if you want to get involved in with the sails coming up and down, or even spending some time with the captain and the crew on the bridge.
They're very accommodating, aren't
They're really accommodating. They want people to get involved. They want people to be as enthusiastic about the ship as they are. So it's a very interactive and engaging experience.
Brilliant. And just one last quick question because I'm conscious of time.
Yeah.
A rough idea of price bracket, not necessarily a price, but in terms of where would it sit in the market?
I would say, so I would sort of kind of put us as a boutique product, and we're working with a number of partners with you guys that will sort of package the voyage up. So it's you can have a voyage with flights and hotels it'll be under £2,000, and that we include all of your meals, all of your soft drinks, all of your facilities on board are included. There are different packages, and there is an offer on at the moment, I must say, for drinks. They're offering beer and wine included to the end of March, for bookings made to the end of March from any voyage. And as a special off-board way, we're giving you £100 per person on board credit for bookings made before the end of March. So you go get that in there.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Right, okay, well that brings us to the end of our chat.
Oh, thanks.
But I think we crammed a lot in there.
We do, I can talk.
Well, thank you very much for coming in and having a chat. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure. I look forward to welcoming all your guests on board.
Well, I really hope that we send you some, because I've seen it and I would like to cruise on myself. So the more that I can send you, the more chance I've got.
You know what, I was just about to say that. The more you sell, the more chance I'll get you on.
No, it does. It looks like a really fantastic product.
Oh, well, thank you.
Thank you for popping in. I'm going to let you get back to
You're
our
welcome. Thanks, everybody.